there we are. I'm so sorry, girls, to keep you waiting. Can you girls hear me? Hey, honey, I'm sorry.
Can you
I must have got into the wrong room. I'm like, where is everybody? There was no one here. Can you hear me okay, honey?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey,
Yeah.
honey. Hi, Sheena.
Hello.
Hey, Maria and Leah. Hi, darling. And Casey, I can't see you. Casey, do you want to pop your camera on for me, darling? Where is
Am
she?
I here?
Foster?
Oh, wait.
Hey, everyone.
I figured it
There
out.
she is.
There we go.
Hello,
How is everyone?
Now we are
How
so
is everyone?
for Gladys, because Gladys is going to be one of our little hot seats today.
I'm here. I'm here.
Hello.
There she is.
Beautiful. Sorry, I couldn't see you on my screen.
No
Well,
worries.
we have a beautiful new face here today. Can anybody guess who it is?
Liat, hello.
Hi, everyone.
Honey, thank you so much for being here. The girls are so excited. I've received so many emails this week about the ladies being so excited about being able to just take what they've learnt so far and for you to wave your magic all over it and turn it into something beautiful. So thank you, honey. Thank you for being here.
My absolute pleasure, and this is what I love to do. So I get to share my gift, and it's like, just take it.
Oh, we're so excited. Now, we met, just to give the other girls some background, we met in a program about a year ago, maybe a bit over a year ago. And we just connected quite quickly, but our relationship has really grown like over the last couple of months because we just have, I think the passion that I have for style is the same passion that you have for interiors, right? So we just have this just desire to redefine beauty, for women to be able to create beauty around them so that it can support them and elevate them and propel them. So honey, do you want to just give yourself an intro just as far as the business side of things and just to give the girls a little bit of a foundation of who you are and what you're all about, and then we can get started.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that intro. It was lovely. And I'm super stoked to be here. So I'm the owner and founder of Hadar Interiors, and we create branded interiors for businesses. So essentially, a brand is the essence of who you are, and that's what Clarissa is doing so well with the style. This is just another extension of, bringing out who you are inside and, letting the world see it. And when we're not operating on a day-to-day basis at maybe our best, when the design of our space kind of reminds us who we are and what our goals are in business and in life, then we kind of rise up to that, and it ends up inspiring us to match at that same level. So I'm really passionate about helping business owners, especially women. I'm a mom of 5, so you probably will hear my kids at some point. They're getting ready for bed. But I'm super passionate about being transparent and being real, showing up in the world with who you are, and removing the mask, that is the corporate world and all of that kind of stuff. So let's create awesome offices.
Thank you, honey. Thank you so much. Well, I will just get everybody to put their microphones on mute. Maria, can I get you to put your microphone on mute? Is there anybody else? Okay, so I'm going to let you take over from here, honey. Are you good with that?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So let me just set up my screen. So can you just, did we do the style assessment for the design side of things, or are we going to do that now?
No, the girl, Gladys and Casey have done that. The other girls haven't, though.
Okay, but I'm saying for the specifically interior design, do we need to run through that?
Yeah, why not? Yep, that would be great.
Let's do it. Okay, awesome. Let me pull up. So maybe everybody wants to open Pinterest, and then you guys can kind of go along with me as I'm using everybody in the hot seat. So go to your universal style boards. Does everybody have theirs open?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Okay. So let's see here. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Oh, can you enable me to share my screen?
Oh, yes. How do I do that?
I don't know, but it said host disabled attendee screen sharing. Maybe it's in settings.
Clarissa, I think you can click on Liat's name, and I think there's options, and I think there's an option to make her a co-host.
I've got, okay. Chat pin. Make host. Beautiful.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I am now the host.
That work?
Yes.
Thank you, Gladys. You're always the one helping me through my technology issues.
Okay. So Gladys, do you want to go first? We'll go through your decorating style, and then we're gonna go through my little system.
Sure.
For you?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So this is really fun. I'm going to post this link in the chat. Let's see if I can figure that out. And then you guys can answer it as well. Clarissa, I don't know how to get it into the chat, so I'm just going to send it to you, and then you can post it.
Perfect. Are you doing Facebook message or email?
Yep.
Yeah.
Facebook. Okay. So now all of you guys will have it. Okay. And so it was Gladys, and who was the other one?
And Casey.
Casey. Okay, so let's do them. Let's do you guys both at the same time. So I want you guys to do this, pull it up on your screens. And I want you to
that link in the chat. So the link's in the chat now, girls. And I think the other girls should do it too. So why don't you girls all do it like all of the other girls too? Because it's super cute and fun. So the link's in the chat there.
So none of this has to be like what you have now, but it's merely another tool that we use to like kind of bring out your essence and touch points along like who you are, and kind of gives us little clues as to what your style is. So it seems completely irrelevant and stupid, but it's so accurate. I can't tell you how many clients have gone through this and they've been like, Liat, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. Like, this doesn't make any sense. And by the end of it, they thought they were one style, and then we go through it, and they're a completely different style, and they're like, oh, that does sound like me. So it's really fun. Kudos to the person who made it. And kudos to me finding it. So
Yeah.
that I can okay. So what's your ideal pet? So rooster, parrot, purebred hunting dog, medium-sized dog that doesn't shed, whatever wanders onto my property, a newish breed that my friends won't have heard of. I live in the city, so a cat that never goes outside, a dog that loves to swim, or a 12-foot boa constrictor.
Gladys,
Okay, so
do you
everybody
want to just unmute yourself, honey?
Sure.
Yeah? So do you want the girls to tell you verbally, or do you want them just to be filling it out?
So I want everybody to fill it out, but Gladys, if you're comfortable.
Yeah, and I actually did complete this already. So
Me too.
yeah, so I'll be honest, I did it twice because I could not believe the answer. I'm like, that's not right. So I went back again, and it came out the same way. I'm like, was I being truthful? And sure enough, it was the same thing. So
That's amazing. What did you get?
So I am coastal.
Coastal.
Okay. Yeah, and I think what surprised me about it, I mean, I'm totally in love with the ocean. I've always been deeply connected to the ocean, and my dream is to live by the ocean. But I think what surprised me is when it comes to like my interior style, I've been so drawn aesthetically to like Victorian antiques, to like lots of gilded kind of stuff, like really heavy things. And it's changed lately. Where I've sold I don't even have a desk right now because I've sold so much of my stuff that felt very heavy and very dark wood. And I've been wanting lighter, like a light, expansive feel. And so when coastal came up, I was like, are you sure? But maybe that's exactly where I need to be heading.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's amazing. That's so cool. And how did you feel with the description
of coastal?
Yeah. Did it feel like it resonated with you?
Yeah, easygoing. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but it was kind of like easygoing. Do you remember the rest of it? Shoot.
No, I definitely did not memorize them.
Yeah, easygoing, laid back. I think the feeling of it is what I most aspire to feel in my life. Like it's definitely, I think, a work in progress. So to actually have it be, something that I can create right now to help surround myself with what I'm most wanting. That was really an eye opener for me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And Casey, did you also complete yours as well?
I did, and the first time I did it, I got rustic, and just looking at the picture, I went, that can't be right. So I did it again, and I came out traditional, which fits more, I think.
Okay.
So
okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So we're gonna dive a little deeper and see. We'll try to see. Every time I do it, I get the same answer, and I always switch up the answers that I give. And it always gives me the same thing.
That is so weird. So what's yours?
I'm eclectic. Which
You're
is perfect
eclectic.
for an interior design. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So does everybody want to type in the chat box what you chose for what's your ideal pet? I'm curious.
mine wasn't on here.
See if I can see the chat box at all while I'm showing my screen. So
You want me to read them out to you?
Yeah,
So
do it.
Here's mine.
Is medium-sized dog.
Oh.
Maria said dog. Evie is medium-sized dog. Sheena's medium-sized that doesn't shed.
Me too.
That's all we've got.
Awesome.
It's like medium-sized cat that doesn't shed.
And I actually did twice too, because I took it twice. My first was a medium-sized dog, and then the second was my first was a dog that loves to swim, and then I chose a medium-sized dog.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So which of the colors do you love? Not these ones. If any of you read ahead, it's any of these colors. So what's a color, right? Can I say black metal? All white for me. Avocado, remember that? Or something equally fun. Watery green or blue. is purple, orange, and orange a color? I found beige. Brown is beautiful, or off-white has so much character. So type in the chat box what your favorite color is.
So Evie's all white. Sheenie's off. Sheenie. Where did I get that from? It's like a combination between Evie and Sheena. Sheenie. So Sheena's white. Gladys is blue and green. Who else have we got? Leah, what are you? Bob, what are you? So Leah is blue and green. Casey, Casey's got, I don't have any idea. Maria's wood. Barb is white. Oh, we've got lots of white girls in here. I couldn't decide between all white.
Everybody's just inspired by your style.
Where's the pink option?
I know there's a pink option, but do you know what? Honestly, I would choose all white over pink any day. Like to live in, I wouldn't want to live in pink. I would definitely choose either white or all white. I think I chose both actually when I did it. Like I'd switched it up a bit.
Did you get the same answer also when you switched it up?
No, I didn't. I actually didn't. One of mine I got traditional and one of mine was French provincial.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay. What's your drink of choice? This one's going to be a fun one.
This one's
red wine.
All right, girls, in the chat box, mine's gin and tonic, hands down. Gladys is so sophisticated. She's red wine. Champagne, cider,
champagne, yeah.
I think I'll take one.
Why is coffee not a choice? Then she said red wine. Red wine's the backup plan for Leah. Maria's red wine. Yeah. So fun.
Okay. Okay, cool. I love how they wrote this one. Ooh, ooh, Margaritaville. Okay. Where would you most want to live? And this is not where you live right now, unless it's like your ideal place, but where would you ultimately want to live? So downtown in a bustling city like Vancouver, suburbia with a large lot, the middle of nowhere, somewhere in the country but close to a small town near the ocean. We know what Gladys wants. She wants. In the gritty up and coming section of a big city, near a big city, but something quiet and sensible like a townhouse. In an older neighborhood with large trees, somewhere funky like an artist collective. Okay.
I found this one hard because when we were looking for a house, our big conundrum was, do we go water or do we go, quiet neighborhood up on the mountain where you can see water, but it's just this quiet, leafy. Yeah.
That's my dream place.
We ended up buying on the water, but that was because of the boys. Like that was just because they love surfing and doing it. But I just think if it was me, I think I might choose the older neighborhood with large trees. I think. I don't know. What about you, Gladys?
I'm so with you. The way you described it, if I was on a mountain or a hill surrounded by trees overlooking the ocean and it's quiet and no one's around me except for 2 minutes away, I'm in heaven.
Yeah,
I'm in heaven.
Me too. What about you, Casey?
Yeah, trees.
Trees?
Trees.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we have, Eve is near a big city, but in something quiet and sensible like a townhouse. Casey said trees. Barb said ocean. Sheena said ocean. Gladys, ocean, and ideally in the woods where no one's overlooking the ocean, which is very rare, isn't it?
I know.
With large trees. Leah, old neighborhood with large trees. Sheena must have a view. Yes, please.
Awesome. I'll take one of each.
Yeah.
And I could have sworn that I heard Casey said in the trees.
No, not in the trees.
Tree house, maybe?
Not that adventurous.
Okay, which describes your bedroom dresser? Again, they should say which describes your ultimate bedroom dresser.
Oh. Okay.
Where it's tripping you up. I should write into them. Add treehouse.
Yeah.
Ultimate bedroom dresser. So grandmother's antique, which I painted bright orange. Built in myself from fallen timber. All I know is I have to put it together with a very teeny tiny tool that I've never seen before. It's a wicker. I repurposed a metal tool chest. Cool, right? It's a new piece that just hit the showroom floor. It's from the early 1900s. It's mahogany. I had it custom. Not sure, it's from a relative's farm, and I painted it all white. I think we know whose that one is.
I think that might be mine. So who have we got? So Gladys. So Casey said custom, Amish. Gladys said new piece from a showroom. Sheena Hyde said ultimate is custom made. Current is IKEA. Maria repurposed tool chest. Gladys custom made. Evie, I built it myself from fallen timber. I love you, Evie. Barb from a relative, and Leah custom.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of people wanted to do custom. That's awesome. It's the ultimate. Okay. Who would you like to have over for dinner? I am not reading this one out because everybody's going to eat me alive.
The current president. There, I said it. Do you want me to keep reading, honey? Any of the living former presidents? The Queen of England, an unusual character with great stories to tell. Anyone laid back and normal, a weary traveller. I prefer to eat with just the family. Someone who has worked on the railroads. Anyone who brings a nice bottle of wine. Dinner, we only do cocktail parties. Oh, who is that?
Yeah.
I want to hang out with that person.
That's me.
Do you only do cocktail parties?
No.
No.
In my other life, I probably
In your other life. Great stories. Oh, somebody who brings, I think that's me too, whoever brings a spectacular bottle of wine. That's Gladys. Casey is stories. Where's stories? Oh, an unusual character with great stories to tell. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Sheena's not sure. Come on, girls. You got to pick one. This one's a harder one, actually.
Yeah.
Just have fun. Have a good time. Don't take it seriously. Just do it like 10 times.
Yeah. I think that's all we got. Laid back and normal, says Sheena.
Awesome. Okay, what do you prefer to hang on your living room walls? Anything and everything. Moose head? A simple medium-sized abstract painting in a classy frame. Something bright that takes up the entire wall. That famous fox hunt painting would look tasteful. I prefer natural things like found branches and driftwood. A large twisting piece of metal would be ideal. I found an amazing old barn door that hangs sideways. A moody still life of fruit is all I need. A bright pop print or graphic advertisement is always fun to look at.
All right, girls, pop it in the chat. What are you, Casey? So Casey's medium abstract painting, Leah's bright pop print or advertisement, Evie's bright pop print, advertisement, I can say this. Barb is abstract. I think that's all we've got.
Awesome.
I do abstract too. I don't know. I change my mind all the time.
Okay, favorite restaurant. This is got to be everyone's favorite question. That's mine. I want to try every one of them. Same white tablecloth restaurant I've eaten at for years. I like to try something new. Whatever has the best Yelp review in that area. Fish tacos all the way. A cozy throwback Italian bistro. That new gastropub in the Warehouse District. Oh yeah. Anything raw? Fondue always sounds good. How about we eat dessert first?
I said fondue. Evie says fondue. Now Gladys has said new gastro. What's a gastro pub? Is that just like a pub?
With fancy food.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Leah says cozy Italian bistro. Evie says fondue. Casey says Yelp. Sheena says Yelp or gastropub. Maria, gastropub. Sheena Hyde, trendy pub. There's a lot of cocktails here.
You notice that branding, just to throw this in there, branding is super important in everything we do. If we go to, like, if you take a restaurant, I mean, like, why would they have this here? Like, the sidewalk.
That's in Austin. I've been there.
Have you?
Tell them their sidewalk needs to be redone.
Tell them to get their sidewalk done.
It looks like Austin.
But branding is so important. Like, can you guys imagine walking in to a restaurant that looks like a dump? Like, would you walk in there? Unless you want to have like a diner kind of like experience, which maybe. But it's really important how we show up to our customers, to our clients, and really representing our brand, because when you have that cohesiveness of like how your brand shows up, what are the colors that you use to communicate what you stand for, what your messaging is, then they will have that cohesive experience and remember you. You'll be memorable to them and they'll come back again and again. That's my soapbox for today.
Yeah, we love it.
Okay, flowers. Birds of paradise, sunflowers, red roses, yellow roses. Flowers would look out of place in my home. Unique ones in bright colors, palm fronds, fallen branches and twigs. I get fresh bouquets every few days.
Oh. So Casey says sunflowers. Evie, birds of paradise. Evie, I've got birds of paradise all like up my driveway. I never knew you loved those. Leah, red roses. Sheena, fresh bouquets. I wish I was fresh bouquets. I used to buy myself fresh flowers a lot. I don't do it as much anymore. Barbie's birds of paradise. I kind of like the fallen branches and twigs too. I like that.
A little bit of everything. Okay, everybody, it's time to hit submit. I don't know why I don't have a submit button. Oh, it should just come up, maybe.
I think it
Type in the chat what you got. I'm super excited.
So Casey's traditional. Barb is traditional. Do you mean traditional? She's written transitional. Leah's transitional. Oh my gosh, everybody's traditional. Gina's contemporary.
Traditional or transitional?
So Casey,
is it traditional or is it transitional?
It says transitional. Is there a transitional? Oh no, she's just corrected it.
No. There is a transitional though. So
oh, is there? Oh, okay.
Difference.
Okay.
Yeah. And
then Sheena's contemporary, Barb's transitional, so there is a transitional, and Evie's contemporary.
Okay, I want to tally this.
Gladys?
Oh, I'm coastal.
You got coastal again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same answers.
All right.
I want to tally it. Okay, so traditional. How many do we have that are traditional?
1, 2, 3. 3.
Okay, what's coastal is 1.
1 coastal, and then 2 transitional.
Okay.
And then 2 contemporary.
Okay. Two. Okay. Good. So I'm going to keep that in mind when we go through the. Okay. Awesome. So, So for Gladys and Casey, we're going to dive in a little bit with the Pinterest boards, and then and I'll tell you how to use this quiz to help you find more of your style and understand exactly who you are in your space. Okay, this is clear defined. I wonder who this is. Okay,
That's Gladys.
Gladys, yeah.
Okay, so let's do you first. Okay, so first of all, let's open a new Pinterest board. Okay, since I'm going to create a new Pinterest board for you on my page so that I can save it to the board for you. Okay. I will add you to the board so you can have it forever.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. And then you can add it to your universal style, but we'll go back and forth between the two so that we can see if there's any similarities and if we can bring anything together. Okay. We got coastal. So first of all, let's go to some of my client boards and see if we can find anything, since I already did for them, if we can find anything that would match for you. So let's see. There's a lot in here, so let's see if we can find it. Search. Search the board. Yes.
What is Lovebug up to, Gladys?
I gave her a piece of cantaloupe and she doesn't know what to do with it. And so she's like putting it in her mouth like, what do I do? What do I do? And I'm like, do it. She won't chew it. So she finally just dropped it on the floor.
It's probably down here somewhere.
Girls.
Here it is. Okay, so you don't have to like everything that's in the folder.
Okay.
But I want you to point out to me, like, I like this, I like that, and I like this element in the picture, but I don't like anything else.
For each one or just in general?
For each single one.
Okay. So the first one.
So I'm going to go from here, and then we'll
okay.
go. So do you like anything here? Do you like the overall colors?
I like I'm not a fan of the column to the left, but I actually like the middle column, I think, the best because it's got some lighter, like some ivory in it.
Okay,
and
so you like
then
the
different
overall
blues.
feel
Mm-hmm.
of like, okay, so I'm going to save that. And I'm going to create a board for you.
Hey, honey, just to let you know, in the program, the girls have created a color palette board, which
Awesome.
is going to translate into their style, but also into their brand. So I don't know if, Gladys, you want to share that with her.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yep. Because I think probably, because they've done a lot of work around the color palette. So I feel like we don't want to confuse that. So I wonder if you should just pop that link in the chat. Can you access that link from Gladys? Yeah.
Let me pop it in. Yeah, hold on.
Can you send it to me on Facebook? So how do we, because so Pinterest works in a way where like I can't access hers unless she shares a screen with me and then I can guide her through it. We can do that.
Do you want to do that?
So I'll share my screen?
Yeah, that would probably be better.
Okay.
And let me make this board visible, and I will send you the link to it so that you can go through it.
Okay.
And available.
So do I need to, so you're disabling your screen sharing, are you? Yeah, and then I need to get Gladys to share hers.
Yeah. Okay, stop sharing.
Oh, I've lost Gladys. There she is.
Work better.
I'm here.
Okay, chat. Wow, so many chats. 76. You girls are on fire.
This isn't letting me share your screen, Gladys.
Maybe you need to take me off as a host.
I
Hostess.
have. Let's try that again. All right. Yeah, it's not letting me. Ah.
Oh, okay, let's do that. I'll share my board with you, Liat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The only
Okay.
thing is that I can't save things to your board unless you add me as a collaborator, which you can totally do.
Okay, so how do I, let's see. What am I using as your
Info at Hadar Interiors.
info at hadarinteriors.com?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Check.
And it lists you now under the collaborators column.
Okay. Okay, and you sent the, let's see, you sent it in the chat?
No, I typed your email into the, oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. Hold on. I got it. There you go.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. Accept. Oh, nice word. I love it.
Thanks to Clarissa. That is all Clarissa's help there.
Amazing. Okay. So I'm going to share, should I share my screen again?
Yeah, is that okay?
Totally okay.
Have you still got access to it? Yes, beautiful.
Awesome.
So we did a lot of work. So with the universal style board, that was just all the things that they find beautiful, and then we combined that with their message. So what is it that they're wanting to say? So that's what this color palette represents. It represents something that's really beautiful to Gladys, but also it represents, you know, the message of her brand. Yeah, isn't it gorgeous?
I love it, and it speaks coastal to me.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very like feminine, like Floridian kind of coastal, but yeah, definitely.
Nice.
So, if you want to keep pinks in there, pinks and greens and stuff like that, you can totally do that as well. You don't have to keep to that. But what I'm wondering, should we, Clarissa, add to this board from the items of the coastal that she likes, or should we create a new board for her?
Probably create a new board, I think. Or if you wanted to just add to the board just for simplicity's sake, and then Gladys can move it over later. What do you think, Gladys?
Yeah, a new board would be great if it's less, if it's not a lot of work. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let's do that. So having this in mind, what do you feel about any of this stuff? Should we move away from this color palette, or add a little bit of this color palette into any of this? Like, if you could imagine your home office, right? And this is the brand, this is how you feel. Like, would these colors work for you, or do you want to add a little bit of, like, you know, other coastal elements to it?
Yeah, I think white for sure. Like there's a picture in the top right corner. I think it's with a lamp. Right, yeah, right there. Yeah. To me, I love that because it's clean and simple, but the pop of color, which is the green there, I feel like it actually enhances the green even more because it's not, you know, dense in color. So I know Clarissa and I had talked about even like throwing in a teal or like a pop of cherry, you know, like to as accents, which I love, right? So that it's kind of like that surprise element that you're not expecting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. Okay, so now we have this. I saved it to your board. What else?
I love the lamps, like the chandeliers, these big ones.
These ones?
Yeah, they're simple, they're clear. I mean, I love crystal, you know, ideally. I love embellishments, but I like the simplicity of those because it doesn't detract from the view.
Okay, awesome. And now, so for everybody else, what we're doing right now is we're iterating on what you guys did with Clarissa, which was you have a style element, you have the essence of who you are, and then what you want to do is start picking pieces together from different elements of the images to bring together one entire cohesive look. So what's going to happen is once we go through this and we get a few pictures together, we're going to go back to the board over here and we're going to see that everything is really coming together, because this board already has a cohesive look. When you go to, you know, any other page, you go to, let's see, contrast, like it's a little bit cohesive just because I've been pinning and I have a certain style to how I design, very architecturally detailed and high end, but you can see that they're not as, it's not a composition as much as if you go back to here and you can tell that this is coastal. That makes sense to everyone? Is anybody lost? Type in the chat box, let me know if you guys are with me and how you guys feel about this process.
No, that's great, honey.
Everyone's good? Okay,
Got
awesome.
it.
So, okay, so let's find 4 more images and see.
I like the light and airy right under the YM in the middle.
Light and airy. This one?
Yeah, I like the, I think it's like a white, I don't know if it's like a Tibetan fur, like poof stool.
Here, yep.
Yeah, I can't see it fully clearly, but it looks like there's just lots of yummy texture in there.
Awesome, but yet not too overwhelming.
And I like the plants.
Awesome. Okay. Stop me when you see something.
Okay. That's my secretary's desk. On the left, the blue and white fiddle leaf fig. That is genuinely like my secretary's desk that I have right now. Above the antique.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm using it like to store my clothes and jewelry in right now.
That's so funny.
But I do like a touch of antique. Okay. Yeah, so I think there's just something, I don't know, there's like a groundedness, but I think I had too much of it that it just started to feel heavy.
Yeah, and a lot of coastal has a lot of chinoiserie, which is from like, you know, the Chinese patterns and, you know, the urns, right, and all that kind of good stuff.
I like the one on the right, the coastal living room with baby blue sofas. I like the, I can't see it fully. Can you click on it? So again, I like the fur. I like the big painting. And then that touch of green through the plant.
Okay, awesome. So bringing a little bit of color. Let's go back and see what it's done. Can you see now how like it's just built off of what you worked on before? And how it just goes together, like having that light and airiness, but at the same time, it's bold, it's beautiful, it's got that, you know, very coastal feel.
Not yet. I mean, I'm listening to what you're saying, and I think I'm missing the connection. Like visually, like now the picture to the right, like with the the 15 smart reasons, I don't like that. But then the other 4, I can see how those start to blend. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe I could bring in some of the
right.
So
right. So you continually iterate. We, go back and assess. We take a step back, then we come back and look at it. And so can you tell me specifically, now that you're looking at this bigger picture, what don't you like about this image?
It's just boring. Like it's too beige, I guess, or grayish. Honey, that's my website. I have so much gray on my website. I need to fix it.
Yeah. And do you know what, honey? Like, I think too, like, I feel like, I agree with you about that right one for you. But also you've got to kind of try to imagine it, like, what does this look like in my color palette? Because it's hard to kind of be able to push past. Blue's not a part of your color palette. So you kind of just have got to be able to remove the color palette from it and look at the elements and the textures and the shapes rather than the colors. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Then you can still do that same space, but replace the colors with your color palette,
Got it. Okay. So it makes so much sense. Thank you. That helps a lot. I'm really drawn to texture. So that poof that, there's 2 of the similar poofs. One's like looks like a rosy, dusty rose, and the other one was white. I mean, I love those.
Awesome. So now you have a little bit more of those elements, and I want to encourage you to do this. Click on the pieces, on the pictures, and scroll down. And those same elements you'll see.
Yeah, like that chandelier. Oh my God.
Which one? This one?
No, the one to the left. Those. They're so beautiful. I love those.
Okay, awesome. Where did we go?
So if you can imagine, Gladys, like taking that chandelier and putting it into the color palette of what you've already worked on, like, can you imagine how gorgeous that is? Right?
Yeah, it makes me drool. And to have that be my office, I would freaking live there all the time.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the crystal, the big picture that you just pulled up with the white lamp and the little green, looks like hydrangeas. No, the second row. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I noticed that's crystal, I think, right? It's like a little crystal candle holder. I have so many crystals, and I love that.
Awesome.
Yeah,
okay, so like some drama in there, some high level, like fancy a little bit, like touches of like elegance and attitude. That's what I feel from your other pictures. There's kind of like an attitude about these images that I really love, and they're really nice in your space.
Yeah.
So you want to pull out, you want to think about the kind of finishes you use when you decorate your office, the kind of materials, and obviously the color palettes, and not, and making sure that there's the right balance of colors. So, maybe you want to have whites as your base, and then to do pops and changes of, in the patterns, to have the greens and the pinks and all that kind of good stuff. And you want to make sure the lamps also have the coastal feel, oversized, or have a few of the antique urns and chinoiserie effects that kind of speaks to that Victorian feel that you were talking about before, and some wicker as well, even if it's just a tray. Like we see.
Do you like wicker, Gladys?
I like it outside. I've never used it inside. Yeah.
Or rope. This is rope, not wicker. So.
Interesting. Well, and I'm also noticing that the wood is light wood, and because I don't have a desk, so I've been working in my kitchen for way too long, and I've been looking for a desk, and I did the high sheen white, like the campaign desks, totally didn't appeal to me. I was looking at like more of a really nice kind of almost like a gold, not shiny gold, but just like a matte gold with like an ivory top finish. But then that felt too fancy. But I'm noticing that these are lighter woods, and there's just something really appealing about that, which doesn't go in my San Francisco apartment, but I think it really depends on how I style the rest of it, so that it does actually work.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So I want to encourage you to just, you know, use Pinterest as your muse and go through, you know, the pictures that we posted here, and just go down and see, are there other images that kind of bring in the same elements, and piece it together, and then go back to the board and say, you know what, that doesn't work, or that does work. Let me edit it and, you know, change it up so that everything flows cohesively together. And you can decide to create another board after that if you'd like.
Awesome.
You could even try searching. I don't know if this would work, honey, if you try searching like coastal style interiors and then add pink green, like to try and find that coastal influence, but in your color palette, because I think that's what's probably confusing you at the moment, because it's so not your color palette. I wonder if that would work too.
I like that idea a lot. It makes me wonder, actually, now that when you say it that way, Clarissa, what came up immediately in my mind is a lot of the haciendas, like in Mexico, they have the pinks and the greens, right? And they're by the ocean, right? And it's like those colors are naturally there. And I'm just being Latina, I'm so drawn to that. So now.
Yeah, that's a great idea. See that middle one there with the lounge, like dusty. Did you see the dusty velvet lounge there? It's up the top.
Where is it?
Just this.
That's
so
beautiful.
See that? I mean, that's what I think with you, Gladys. I know it's not quite there, but I feel like you're very much about that warm white, like creamy kind of colors, but then bringing in like where the majority of it is that white, clean kind of color, but then you're bringing pops of your color palette into it, but the rest is quite neutral. And I love the idea of bringing green in through like the plants, or a big beautiful indoor tree or whatever it is. But that's gorgeous.
Definitely. That is very beautiful. Yep.
I feel like these pieces over here have so much attitude. These bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a surprise element that I love, like something that you wouldn't expect that just catches your attention, and then it just adds depth of character.
Yeah, it's just that shock of contrast, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the color palette that I was telling you about.
Okay.
And it might be too much for you, but that's what I see as far as the coastal and for the color palette that you've chosen.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a deeper saturation that I like, but I also really love the whatever that white feathery thing above is.
I love that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and I love the flower. So the Chinoiserie Chic Happy Mother's Day on the right, with the I love that.
Yeah.
And those are that's your color palette.
Totally.
Yeah.
So that should give you a good base, like ground, like you see here, the green and then the pink.
Oh, let's save that one. Yeah.
So this, like, it doesn't need to be exactly, hold on, it's saved to the wrong one. It doesn't need to be exactly like blue and white, the traditional. There's always like an offshoot of a style that can be changed up a little bit. So I love that you have the universal style board and the color palettes to help you just work off of that, and really hone in on what it is that you want.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So, okay, so let's move on to, is it Casey?
Yes, Casey's next.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you, Liat. So grateful to you. And thank you, Clarissa.
Oh, it's fun, honey, isn't it?
Awesome. So, Casey, do you want to do the same thing? Do you have a board you can add to?
Right. So there's my color palette board, and I've made you a collaborator, hopefully.
Okay.
Now, Casey's been thinking through her office at the moment. Do you want to give Liat a little background where you're at with your office, Casey, and the other girls too?
So I'm working in a room that's kind of a large, it could be a bedroom. I think it could be an office. It's got a wood floor and a giant mirror wall, which you can probably see behind me. That's a mirror back there. And there are 2 cat litter boxes. and 2 pieces of furniture that we bought as graduate students. So yeah, I talked to my husband about it, and he said, yeah, it's time for something new. So this is basically a tear down and rebuild project.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I couldn't have come at a better time.
Right. Yeah.
Wow, look at these colors. This is amazing. I love this. I love the cohesiveness. Clarissa, this is like between these 2 boards, like how everything has just come together. So,
Yeah.
so it's tight color palette. I might have you consult on my job.
Well, that's why I'm so excited about this, because they've got such a solid foundation to just take what they've already done and just translate it, you know? So, I mean, they've done so much work around this.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So I'm a triathlon coach, and with a swimming emphasis. So there's lots of water here. And when I went to my closet, what I found was all these colors were already there. I just wasn't seeing them before.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I actually have 5 pairs of pink shoes in the next room that I'm getting ready to try on. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's right. She ordered 5 pairs of shoes. She's like, I'm bound to find one pair out of that 5.
It's an enormous box. It's so big. Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so you got traditional?
Yes.
Okay, and you tried this a few times, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so
Let me make this bigger.
can you see what I'm seeing?
Yeah, I've got boxes over part of it. So the one that's all the way to the right at the top, can you click on that one?
All the way this way, or
that one.
This
No,
one?
yeah, on the right. All the way to the right. No, that one, not that one. The one to the right of that.
The other right.
All the way to the right. Is that just an advertisement or something?
This one or this one?
All the way to the right. That's the left.
I think it's opposite to you.
Yeah.
I'm so confused. I keep on going the opposite.
That's weird. Yeah.
This one?
You can't see I guess you can't see the one next to it.
It says, what's your decorating style? Is that the one you mean?
I can't see the bottom. I have no idea. Yeah, it's like a quiz or something.
That's just an advertisement.
Okay. Well, the picture on the top I
It's
like.
different for everyone.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, scroll down then.
Okay.
Mm,
Does this feel like,
feels too traditional, like too old.
okay, so it's possible that maybe your style, let's see, this will be helpful for anyone else, because this is most people's style, actually.
Okay.
Transitional is more modern, but it has some of the traditional elements in it.
Okay. So like the one on the left, it says transitional home tour. Can we look at that one?
This one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that kind of like white, clean desk cabinets, stuff like that. And then the chair with the deep color, kind of like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you like the ceiling?
The ceiling's a bit much. The chandelier is not quite as off as you might think. I actually have a weird IKEA light in my breakfast nook that's not gold, but it's a little strange. So it's not totally out of the ballpark there. This could be possible.
Okay, so we don't have to take all the elements from this, but
yeah,
the other elements that you like. Okay, so what is your board called again?
It's the same, only with the U and the color.
You're Canadian?
No, that's the one. Yeah, that's it. I'm not Canadian. I was just imitating Clarissa.
Yeah, it's me.
I'm Canadian.
Because of my annoying Australian spelling.
Well, I had to get unused to it because that's how I spelled growing up. So,
All right.
So we can go from there and just pull down and see if there's anything here. And if not, we'll go back.
Was that natural couple showed us how to downsize?
This one?
Yeah, I like the sheer curtains. The paint color is interesting. It's got the wood floor with a rug. I never really thought about a rug in here. That would be interesting.
What about the pattern on the ottoman?
Well,
Does that
I
feel
mean, I'm imagining an office, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure I would have a lot of extra stuff in here because I do have to fit my bike in here sometimes.
You don't need to focus on like, yeah, this is actually going to be my exact office, but based on the elements of the room that you like, it'll help narrow down and understand what kind of elements you want going into the office. So maybe this fabric is, maybe you like this fabric. This fabric is a very traditional kind of fabric.
I'm more a fan of the one of the chair in the back of the room.
Do you like
not the pattern, but not necessarily the legs, but the kind of steel gray fabric of the chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're leaning more modern, I would say, than traditional. You like the colors in here?
Yes.
Okay. How about this one?
Yeah. Yeah, I like the light with all the windows. I actually have 2 big windows in here. The plants. Yeah, I like that one. It's so hard to ignore the colors. Right?
Yeah, it is. Just try to look at it as shapes and elements, like textures.
Like, for instance, this one is very transitional, right? You've got a very modern pattern, but then this is a little bit more traditional because traditional has like a lot of curvature to it, whereas the modern has more straight lines. So transitional is like, it's the in-between. You have the curvature over here, but then you have the straight lines of the coffee table.
Interesting. Yeah, I actually really like the branches there in the vases.
Okay. Do you like anything else about that room?
Well, again, the light is a big element there, which I like.
Do you like that?
I mean, just mean the windows, I guess.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see those couches in my house.
Okay.
Let's see. Keep going.
And you also got rustic originally, right?
I did, which I don't know where that came from.
Do you like any elements that are rustic, like bricks or reclaimed wood? No.
No.
Okay. So
I do like that wood floor there, and that's another advertisement probably.
Yeah.
Can't click on that. Yeah. That's kind of how my wood floor is in here. It's all different colors.
Oh, that's nice, the variation.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the fireplace there.
This one?
Actually the blue one toward the middle.
What?
Yeah.
I love that. It's really nice.
I love how uncluttered everything is in these photos. I aspire to that. Oh yeah, no, I like that brick.
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And it's got the branches. Yeah. Oh, that's fun. Or
So
it's not just a smooth surface. It's kind of
right. It's a
got
little
texture
rustic.
to it.
It's got a touch of rustic to it.
Right.
So that's interesting.
Are you the one who asked about the archetype in the application?
Yes.
Yeah, I struggled with that, but I came out regular gal in the end.
What was it? What was your archetype?
Regular gal.
Regular gal?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I think my clients are a cross between that and explorer, so
that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, now I'm looking at brick everywhere. That bedroom with the teal.
This one?
No, down from there until, yeah, that one just below there. Yep.
What do you like about this?
I don't like the chandelier, but I like the contrast in the colors. The ceiling is interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess that would be kind of white painted wood, kind of like Gladys was saying that she was trending toward.
So let's go back and see if we can see a trend in your board.
Okay.
What's your board?
Oop.
I feel like, hold on 1 second.
Well, you're talking about square and round things, and I think I'm picking out a lot of like square, hard lines, but with something that softens it.
Correct.
Small,
and that's transitional.
Yeah.
So you would want to stay balanced between the two, because the traditional is like mostly round, a lot of carved pieces, a lot of carved furniture, heavy mahoganies. Transitional is the colors are not too intense. I mean, you can have the pops. Maybe you want it in artwork. Maybe, like imagine having like a really awesome piece of artwork on a plain wall.
Yeah.
It would be so cool.
Yeah.
And then the rustic elements in there, because transitional can definitely have the rustic elements. Maybe it's a ceiling or one piece of furniture or a fireplace that has that warmth of that rustic feel, and maybe some branches like we see here and there. But these are all elements that kind of bring the space all together, and it makes this like fun and cohesive look. So design is really about the balance.
Yeah.
You have a little too many branches, and now you have, and metal, now you have industrial.
Right.
Too much circular and curvature, now you have traditional. So the balance and the playing of all these different elements that go into your space, and when you're trying to design your office or any other room in your home, you want to understand the different elements and the different quote unquote archetypes of these styles, and marry it together with who you are and what you like, what you're drawn to. So for everything else that's going on here, I would say, you want to use these as accent colors. If you're drawn to it in your space, use them as accent colors, as a pillow. That would be stunning to have these as pillows. And, or like here, everything else is plain, but then you have the artwork. Right. And your accessories and stuff like that. So you have like a very nice, muted canvas. You have some pinks, some grays, some blues, and then everything else is, really, really popped with some accessory pieces.
Mm.
So when you go back, your homework is, you can click on any of the images here and play around with it and just scroll down and see, like, this has a mix, right? You have that pop of color here and here, accessory pieces to bring more color, but everything else is very neutral. And you've got that layering over here with the curtains. You have the Roman shades with the curtains, so do that with each one, and then you'll save more. You'll come back, you'll find new things that you like. You'll come back to the page and just keep on editing it, and like things that don't fit and don't create that cohesiveness. And then add things that do and really speak to who you are. And you'll dive deeper and deeper until you really understand what it is that you want in your space and what speaks to you the most. Rather than just saving all these different kinds of styles that aren't bottom line a cohesiveness that will speak to your brand and who you are.
Cool. Awesome.
Cool. Do you have questions?
No, this is so far beyond going to Office Depot and picking out some things that will fit all my crap.
That's easy.
Awesome. I love it.
I'd love to know in the chat box what you guys thought, if you felt it was like, I do this on a daily basis. So to me, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, like, I get it. But did you guys find this helpful at all?
Darling, do you mind if I just get the girls to take themselves off mute, and then maybe then you could it's just easier to get feedback that way.
I'm going to stop sharing for a minute.
I can't see everybody, but do we want to start with you, Maria? How did you go with that, honey?
Oh, I just loved seeing how a style, you can put the colours that you can put your colours into that style. Like, I loved the first one that we looked at and imagining that coastal look, but then putting the other preferred colours in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you've got to teach yourself to be able to, in some, like when we're working on the color palette board, we're specifically looking at the colors, you know what I mean? Yeah. But then we're working, so we'll say with Gladys, where we were looking at the coastal inspiration, we're kind of trying our best not to look at the colors, and we're looking at the shapes, and we're looking at the textures, and we're looking at the contrast, So it's kind of just like this refining your eye, and teaching your eye to look at specific things and be able to eradicate the other things, because that's when it starts getting really interesting. Like with Gladys, like she's kind of, we were playing with this coastal look, but then to throw in this completely different color palette, like that becomes really interesting and unique and beautiful, So that's what I love about it. Yeah. And Maria's color palette is so gorgeous. It's like all these deep, like autumn, like burnt, like so beautiful. So yeah, I'm excited to see what you could do with that, Maria.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And what about you? Sorry, darling. What about you, Barb? What about you? Do you want to unmute yourself?
Reticular activated system. This is something I don't ever look at, so I feel like you've triggered parts in my brain that I haven't looked at before. So things like curves and like with the transitional, tying in the rustic and also the straight lines and the textures and all that sort of thing. Yeah, it really hasn't been brought to the top of my mind before, so that's new. I loved the looking at the coastal and then bringing in the different colours. Yes, that was just outside of anything that I've thought of before. So that was like boom.
And the thing is too that you girls have been so saturated, like over the last 6 weeks, of all these images and inspiration and what's beautiful to you and what's your like you girls have been so saturated in that. So it's a really good time now to be able to like take everything that you've been marinating in and just pivot You know, it's just like pivoting it to, you know, whatever it is. Like it might be your website, or it might be your Instagram feed, or it might be your office or your bedroom, or whatever it is. But it's all the same stuff, you know, like it's all the same. So yeah, so that's really
like
cool. I love that
a little bit.
brain's been triggered, you know. So cool. What about you, Leah?
I feel like I'm a couple weeks behind, because I kind of am a couple weeks behind on some of my boards and things. So what I'd probably appreciate is if there could be, because I think I just got a little lost when we were doing all this. I was like, what are the steps to, okay, look at your color palette, then do this, so that I can know when I go back and I'm working on it a little bit more, you know, so that I understand what I'm supposed to do. And then it would be, I guess I'm just a little confused. Like, so behind me, I just have like, it's just boring. Like, you know, I need something that looks good when I'm on a video chat. So, and I go to a store and I just feel like everything just looks like trendy crap I don't want. And so I'm starting to see that connection of like, okay, I liked this in a picture, so now I have to go find that. And that's good, but, you know, I guess I just have to get my mind over that hump of like, okay, I'm going to have to commit some time to shopping. And just, it's not that I don't like it. It's just my life right now is not, you know, really conducive to flitting around shops and looking for trinkets for my office. So I just, you know, but it's very frustrating to be on something like this and look at myself on the screen and be like, there's just empty shelves and a fucking tape dispenser behind me. You know? And so I don't know. I'm just a little frustrated with that. And I know I need to kind of up my game, because I do want to start using video a little bit more. I think that'll be effective once I'm ready to launch my course. So, you know, and I don't know, maybe I just won't do it here. But I think ultimately I'll probably do some stuff here. So I don't know. And I got to sort out the lighting and everything else. So it's just that. I'm working on it.
It's frustrating. And especially when there's so much on the line. I mean, like wanting to get things launched and feeling like, you know, you're stalling because, like, truthfully, we moved about like a year and a half ago, and I didn't have anything set up, and I was like, I can't go on camera. Like I can't. And I just stalled. I just kept on pushing it off and making excuses, and I didn't want to go shopping because I'm an entrepreneur and I don't have time because I work 24/7. I'm a crazy workaholic. So I get it. And it's overwhelming when there's so many options and nothing feels, you know, like, how do I put it together? And it all feels like trendy crap, right. You know? So I would say, you know, if you want to take down a couple notes, I can give you some steps that you can implement right away, and make it easier for you. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. That's why most people that don't have time do hire an interior designer, because they don't have time for anything. But if you feel like you can, you know, make the time and get that done, here are the next steps for any of you that want to implement this. So number one is know your style and know who you are. And, you know, obviously, since discussing all of this with Clarissa, I think that you should use whatever you've learned in this program as a sounding board, because it's gold. Like, the boards are stunning, and they're perfect to work off of. So if you don't feel like you got the right answer in the quiz, then play around with the different styles. Type them into Pinterest. So number one would take the styles, type them into Pinterest, and just explore and have a good time. Don't put pressure on yourself. Don't, you know, make yourself feel bad. I have to get this done and there's so much on the line. Just enjoy. Just have a good time. Grab your favorite glass of wine or whatever it was that you answered on the quiz. Margarita. This is supposed to be, you know, an example of an expression of who you are. And if you're all like wound up and like, you know, your panties are all in a bunch, like your style is going to come out. It's going to come out horrible. Yeah. So just have a good time. So Pinterest, that search tool, is your best friend. And just have fun exploring and get lost a little bit. Go back and forth to your board and, you know, take a step back, you know, press command, what is it? How do you zoom out? Command Z minus.
Command minus, command plus, yeah.
Right. So zoom out, see how it all, like bird's eye view, how it looks together. See if the colors kind of flow. Train your eye and expect that it's going to take time to train your eye. The number one thing that I want to caution everyone against is do not take the pictures and say, this is exactly what I need to do. Because there's so much that goes into those pictures. There's so much planning. There's so many finishes. There's so much money that goes into those images. Take the elements from it that you like and try to implement that as best you can into your space. So, you know, once you have your Pinterest board, so number one is search bar, right? Or you already have your style. So search bar, create a board, and see what you want to do. See the different styles. Number two would be to make a list of all the elements that you like in the images. So is it curved? Is it linear? I like the texture of this. I don't like this kind of texture. Make a list of like what you do like and what you don't like. And then number three is, you know, maybe take that list and pop that back into Pinterest and see if you can further refine and iterate on what you've done. And then just, you know, when you go shopping, before you go shopping, maybe plan your day. Maybe go to a higher, like, unless your budget is like nil, which is, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs that are just starting their businesses, you don't recommend going to IKEA because they have one look, and the furniture isn't going to last you very long. It's really, really cheap. And there's a difference between designer furniture that's customizable and designer brand name. Those are completely different things. Designer brand name could be furniture that's expensive just because of the name. Designer furniture just means that it's going through your designer who's making sure that it's high quality and that it'll fit your space and that it'll deliver the results that you want. So you might want to spend a little bit extra on something that is going to be the style that you want and is going to deliver the results that you want and is going to last, because you don't want it falling apart on you unless you're planning on moving. So just everybody's got their own circumstance, you know, so there are no judgments here, but those are just my, like, you know, my quick tips. Does that help at all? Clarify the steps?
Yes, thank you. Thanks.
Okay, awesome. Everybody else, does that clarify things for you a little bit?
I have a quick question. When you are planning an office, the big centerpiece is your desk, right? Like, are there any guidelines for how to pick a desk that doesn't I don't know. Is it supposed to be the focal point? You know, like, do you pick something that is neutral enough, or do you want that to stand out? Like, how do you suggest going about that process?
So it really depends on your style. Like, it comes back to your style. And it comes back to what you're trying to achieve. If you're transitional, then maybe you want everything neutral, and then you want a huge graphic print that's behind you. That's the focal point of the room. Right? And that, you know, maybe that's transitional with a little bit of eclectic mixed in there, which is definitely my jam. I love the neutral. I actually I was in this weird mood when I painted this room. So I'm really, I'm looking at it now and I'm like, why did I paint it gold? What was I thinking? But I can do that because I can change my mind all the time.
It's the best place to experiment.
Yeah. So, so it really, that's what I was saying before. It all is hinged on your style. That is the first step. And that is where most people make the wrong decisions and end up with a whole bunch of like a mishmash of like, it's the desk is this style, and then my chair is that style, is industrial, and I hate it because I don't know why I hate it, but I do. And that's because there's no cohesiveness to it. And that's our feminine energy understanding, intuiting that there's something off and the energy isn't off. I don't know why design is so amazing. if I don't say so myself, but it really speaks to our energy. It really speaks to, if it's done correctly, it can really uplift a person's mood and help them not just emotionally, like their joy, but also productivity on a day-to-day basis. And another thing with the desk is when you space plan. So it's number one is knowing your style, and then space planning to make sure that it's the right scale, it's the right size. Because if it's not the right size and it's oversized for the room, it's going to feel cramped. If it's too small, it's not going to take up enough space to kind of balance the room. And then that goes together with the rest of the items in the room. Is the chair the right size, right? Is the chair the right style? So those are all the elements. Those elements are super duper important. And it's kind of design is a symphony. It's really making sure that everybody's like, everybody's playing the right instrument at the right time, and it's going together in this kind of beautiful harmony.
So how do you actually figure out like the proportion, like proportionally, how big should a desk be for a room? Do you know what I mean? Like, is there some kind of way to figure that out?
It's really customized as per like how big the room is. So, and also if there are any other awkward elements to it, is there a door leading out to a porch? That now we can't put the desk on that wall, and usually floating furniture in the middle of the room is always best. It makes the room look better rather than shoving something into a corner. It's always best to have whether it's a sofa or a desk, have it floating as much as possible. But again, it depends on all the different elements. It depends on, are you storing a bike in there? Are you storing other things in there? So you need to make sure that the room, if it's multifunctional, that you have all the right elements for everything else. Do you want a recliner in there for reading a book while you're, or lounging while, on your laptop working, instead of, I'm so tired of working at my desk, I want to lounge a little bit, but I still want to be in my office space. So these are all different aspects that are taken into consideration, and there's no hard and fast rule, because designers, the really talented designers will push the limits and not just have things standard. They'll try things out that are different, that are new, that are, that will create trends, and have their clients be the trendsetters.
That's awesome, honey. Evie, did you have any questions or comments, honey?
I don't have any questions. I think it's just amazing, and thanks so much, Liat, and I love what Liat said in the beginning, especially when she looked at the boards, that your class clothes are just built this amazing foundation for us, and it's not just for our own clothing, right? But it's for everything, our branding and our office. So I just love how this all came together.
Yeah. Oh,
awesome.
Thank you, honey. Is there anybody else that I've missed? Because I can only see 6 of you at a time. Is there anybody that I've missed that I can't see? We're all good? Liat, thank you so
Yeah,
much, darling. Thank you. That was so amazing.
It's my pleasure. Did we want to dive into yours a little bit at all, or
do you know what?
I think we're a lot high on time.
Yeah, I feel like we need to be respectful of these girls' time, and you guys have spent an hour and a half, and I feel like the just the way that we go about doing that, I feel like that message is across. So I feel like Casey and Gladys have just been able to display that really beautifully. So I'm good. Yeah, what do you think?
Awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
No, totally. I think that if anyone else has any questions, feel free to ask. We can take another 2 questions. And if not, then if you have any further questions, feel free to message me and I'd be more than happy to help.
Thank you so much, honey. And I will put all your details. I've already given that to them a number of times, but I will do that again when I shoot through this recording to you girls. So I will do that. It'll take probably a couple of hours for me to get there, but I'll do that today. Alrighty.
Awesome.
Okay, girls. Well, thank you so much.
Should we take another 2 questions? Anyone else have any other questions before we wrap up?
Maria.
Yeah, I'd love to just hear how you work through a whole home. Like, once you design like your colors and your style that you like, is it a case of just deciding on the purpose of a room and then doing boards around that room that kind of fit in with your color palette and the style? And yeah, like, it's just a bigger
What's
work
my process?
Is that how it works?
The question is, what's my process on like how do I do a home?
Like to have a home that all flows with a style. Yeah.
Awesome. So first I will create the boards, and I generally will create one board because then I do an iteration of it. So I'll like save, for one of our clients, I saved like maybe 600 images, and so then I went back into the board and I kind of refined it. So it's designing a whole home is a constant refinement. It's, creating the floor plans, number one, taking all the measurements, very technical. The difference between a designer and a decorator is that a decorator will do what you said first, is create the boards or whatever, and design around the style and add accessories and maybe paint colors. But an interior designer will maybe move a wall, structurally we'll see the elements of the space and, that doesn't work quite well. The architect didn't have this in mind when they decided this, or this is how, the trends have changed and now we're doing more open concept kitchens. So, the process is, find the style, create the mood boards, and then create the layouts to make sure that all the furniture will fit in, and then iterate on it. Get the approvals from the clients. They don't like something, we change it. We go back to the drawing board, we do a revision, we do it again and again and again until obviously we come to the final iteration. And that's when we will start ordering furniture and, picking out fabrics. Like, we're doing a custom reception desk for our Brooklyn client. And so, I'll have to go and pick out the finishes, which one goes with the style, which one, what works well. And when I do that, he wants maybe a concrete. These are 2 different kinds of concrete, which of these, this one has a little bit more movement in it than this one.
Yeah.
So, and then I go and I say, okay, well now how does that work together in the space? How does that feel with the overall look? And now we put, the flooring, my tiles right here. We put the flooring next to it.
Oh, wow.
So there's this whole, you're constantly deciding and constantly finessing and constantly iterating. So it's never this finished product until it's finished. Even on the job site, where we project manage and we're there with the contractor, we're deciding on the fly, oh, this isn't working, how do we change it? So it's this whole with a home design, entire home design or commercial space. It's this whole huge process that we go through of back and forth and hand holding the entire time. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that just sounds divine. I love to hear about the process. I get so excited by that.
Awesome. Anyone else have any other questions before we hop off? Are we good?
I was just going to say, girls, like this process really is like repeating the process that I've just taught you. So I've taught you girls a system to be able to get, you know, from kind of nothing to a concept, to an idea, to a style. So you're basically just, you could literally start at Brand Yourself Beautiful from the beginning and apply everything to your office, apply everything to your bedroom. And it's just doing that same system over and over again, but you're just applying it differently. Do you know what I mean? And I know that we applied it specifically to clothes at the end of the day, but you can do the same thing and just apply it to the space that you're wanting to decorate, you know?
Yeah. And I really want to caution you guys, you know, wherever you buy the furniture, because it's such a huge piece and the accessories that you know, look up the reviews, or, you know, it's super important, and it's one of the most overlooked, because, you know, so many people watch HGTV and they see how fast it happens. That really does not happen in real life.
Yeah.
I know designers who have designed for HGTV, and they said that they don't install anything. The faucets aren't hooked. The plumbing is not hooked up.
Wow.
You know, it's like,
are you for real?
And everything gets donated for free. So, you know, it's not reality. And, you know, I constantly, one of the number one things is that I hear is, you know, why do I have to buy designer furniture? And why can't I just go online and buy whatever? It's super important. I can't stress this enough. It's super important that you check on the reviews, that you understand what goes, if you're buying a sofa, that you understand, you know, that it's 8-way tied, you know, you understand the type of cushioning, you understand, you know, because if you don't learn about it, you won't know what you're missing. You know, if you don't know, if you're not well educated on what you're about to purchase, the investment that you're about to purchase, you don't want anyone to pull the wool over your eyes. And you want to make sure that you're making, because buying furniture is a huge investment.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure that you guys, you know, with all my heart, I want to make sure you guys are making, you know, a solid investment, whatever you do. So
yeah.
That's my piece.
You are amazing. You are so amazing, honey. And I'm so excited to have this on record, because there's lots of girls that couldn't make it this morning. So thank you, darling. Thank you so, so, so much.
And thank you, everyone, for showing up and for the love and the feedback. And I really appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liat. This is amazing.
Thank you, guys.
Bye,
Have a good night.
Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.